very much a desktop review when we started, lots of good dialogue between us and the PRSB assessors in terms of applicability of the standards. And that was a really important part for us of this process. The fact that we were able to review the standards and then have a discussion around, well, you know, here it talks about specialties. We've never heard any of our social care providers talk of a specialty. Is this a mandatory field? How do we get alignment so that whatever is the key information we're after around specialty, we can reflect, or indeed, actually, there is no specialty in social care, so let's take that out altogether. Is that a possibility? And I think just being able to have that back and forth around where there were those issues around applicability within social care was really useful. And then to take that back to our customers, the care providers, and say, well, hang on, you know, this is something that's in the standard. We've had the discussion, actually, it makes sense. Where do you think this fits in? Or what are you already doing that actually aligns to this, but we call it something different? What was nice to see was that there was already a lot of what was within the standards we were looking at that was already happening. But in some instances, it was called something different, or the structure of that or the flow of that was slightly different, and we were able to work through that. We then had a part of the process that was for the PRSB clinician to actually review the product. So moving beyond just the desktop review and to actually start to look at, well, what does the software look like? What does this digital social care record look like? How is information being captured? And, you know, against that in terms of the standard. And that was also really useful to get that feedback in terms of the structure of the product. Again, we kept our care providers in the loop, continuing to validate, because we were very conscious that whilst a key part was around the product and making those changes and the refinement, it needed to work in terms of the end users. So trying to fit that into the workflows of our care providers, making sure that ultimately this could, in order to optimize adoption, it needed to work for our care providers. Having that dialogue with, you know, different clinicians, having a fresh look at the product and getting that feedback was really useful on our side. And actually, it presented a different way of engaging with our customer, which was also very useful, because we were certainly talking about, well, how do we optimize this from a standard perspective to support the work that you're already doing? We gave the process a positive review. You know, we felt that, yeah, we definitely were giving it the smiley face, which was great. More than the smiley review, the outcome was that we achieved conformance for 2 standards that we were interested in looking at. So that was the About Me standard and the Digital Care and Support Plan. And then, of course, we got the Quality Partner badge, which is great, which we love, and we have that on our website. And what's interesting is that, you know, people ask us about this, you know, so if we've been to shows or, you know, if they see it on our material, people ask and say, well, what's all this about? So it's yet another opportunity to then talk about the standards, why they're important, what it means for a care provider, the fact that, you know, we've achieved conformance in these 2 areas. It's really positive.